Let me just explain this. When you've got a person who treats you badly in SP, right, and you're trying to change them, but when you found them, your self-concept was poor. That's why they turned up the way they did at the time. It can be very difficult to see that person differently once you've changed your self-concept. Even though they now reflect the new you, you haven't changed the old story about them. So if you can't change the story about them and they're reflecting you, but you are holding a story, it's like you're reverberating back. You're sending out all the new thoughts of you being in this new self-concept. But if you still hold a story that they're the same old shitty person they were before, they won't fucking change. And that's when I say, find a different person, because you can't change the story about them because the story was so bad. They can reflect you all you like, but if you still hold a real shitty story about them, aren't they going to reflect that shitty story? And that's when I say to people, go and find someone else. If the story you're holding about your person is so shit that you can't possibly see them differently, you will have to actually go and find someone else, because I'm telling you right now, unless you've radically changed your self-concept, that person likely will still hold the remnants of the old story you're still holding on to. Now, they can treat you better and blah, 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 and still come back with little bits of old story. But if you still hold the old story, trust me, because I've done this. I've had a person who I didn't change the story about much. I changed me and they changed. And then just when I thought old story thoughts about them, they showed up that way. And it was also when my self-concept was low, right? So they're always reflecting you. But a lot of you don't get this, that okay, find someone new, but you have to have fully been the new you, because otherwise the next person you'll attract in your good self-concept, but you might change them into the old person when your self-concept starts to wane, right? You've got to keep on top of your concept of yourself, your ideas of yourself. I'm not saying give up on anybody, but I'm saying if you can't change the story about them, well, what do you think is going to happen? I never tell people to give up on your person unless, this is the caveat, you can't change the story about them, because your story will reflect back to you. And if the story's shit, well, what do you expect is going to happen? How do you expect them to show up? The same way you thought of them before, because you haven't changed your story.